And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Century Spice Road. Now I had a chance to play this a year ago, back when it was called Caravan. And I remember I sat down and they're like, oh, we're making this game, we're making two versions of Caravan and a Troll Hunter type game. So I played the Troll Hunter one. And I remember playing it and going, oh, I'd like to play that again. And then I made it and then, oh, can I try that again? And I really, really enjoyed it. So I was anxious to see what they did with it. They changed the theming of it to Century Spice Road. Now, this is going to have future repercussions, and I actually don't understand exactly how they're going to work. There's going to be 3 games in the Century line that take place in 3 different centuries, and they're going to be able to be mixed with each other. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't care how that's going to work right now. Right now, we want to take a look at this game in particular. Is it any good? Let's find out. So here are all the cards laid out for Caravan. Now, one thing I want to be clear on, this board here is a beautiful board, but it doesn't actually come with the game. You just would set everything else out. This is an extra they have, but I just put it here because it looks pretty. So you're going to have a deck of purple cards here, and you're going to have a deck of orange cards, so there's going to be 5 and 6 cards. You're going to have coins above 2 of these cards equal to twice the number of players, and you have 4 different kinds of cubes here. Now, these are different spices. So we have, for example, this is cardamom and cinnamon and saffron and turmeric, and so they are basically in the order here of how valuable they are: yellow, red, green, and then brown. Each player is going to start with some cubes. So for example, if I was first, I would start with 3 yellow cubes. I put that on my Caravan card down here, which has room for 10 cubes total. At the end of a turn, I'm only allowed to have 10 cubes. Now, players can each start with 2 cards, a double yellow, and an upgrade 2. And then we start the game. Now on your turn, you have 4 different actions you can do. One thing is play a card from your hand. So let's say I play this card. This card simply gives me 2 yellow cubes. Easy enough. Or I could play this card. This card lets me upgrade 2 cubes. So I could upgrade both these 2 yellows to 2 reds. Or I could have upgraded 1 yellow 2 times to a red, then a green. So I might do this instead. Another thing you can do is you can take one of these cards here and add it to your hand. You can take this card for free, or you can take it, I want this one, it gives me 2 reds. So you have to put a card to the left of it to take that. If I wanted this card down here, I would have to put a cube on each one, and then I could take this card in my hand. Then these cards would slide over and a new card would come out. And now maybe next turn, then I could play this card, and I would get a brown cube. Now I got a yellow, a brown, and a green. Now why am I trying to get all these cubes? Because one of the actions you can do is you can get a point card here. So to get this one, I need 2 yellows, a red, and a brown. If I had those, I would turn them in and take this card. This card is going to be worth 9 points at the end of the game. If you take the card in this spot, you'll get a silver coin worth a point at the end of the game. And if you take the card in this spot, you will get a gold coin, which is going to be worth points at the end of the game. These are going to be worth 3 points, and these are worth 1. When a certain number of these cards are gone, when one player has a certain number of these cards, 5 or 6, depending on how many players are in the game will end. And you add the points on these, plus any non-yellow cube is worth a point. So on your turn, again, your actions can be playing a card, taking a point card, or resting. When you rest, all the cards you played come back in your hand. You don't have to wait till you play all your cards to do that. I could play these 2 and rest before I play the 3rd one. And so way you get these cards is going to determine different things. Like this card here lets me turn a brown in for a green, red, and yellow. This one gives me 2 reds. This lets me change 2 greens to 2 browns. This one lets me upgrade 3 cubes. This one lets me change 3 yellows into a red and a green. This one lets me change a green into a red and 4 yellows. So if I had both of these, I could play this one and turn 3 yellows into a red and green, then flip that around and get another red and 4 yellows. So I gave up 3 yellows, but at the end, I would have 2 reds, 2 greens, and 4 yellows. So you can get all different card combinations until you get these points up here. And every time one of these is taken, a new one is drawn from the top of the pile. Some of them are worth a lot more points. Like this one here is worth 17 points, but it's much harder because it needs 2 yellows, 2 greens, and 2 browns. That's how you play. phenomenal. I cannot tell you guys how much I really like this game. I mean, I love it. And you say, but wait a minute. Doesn't the theme pretty much mean nothing? Yeah, because like I told you, it was originally with trolls and things like that. And then you might say, isn't there cubes in the game? Yeah. Then why do I like it so much? And I tell you, it's because this game flows like no other game I played before. This is one of the few games where I take my turn, pause, look back, and people are like, it's your turn again. Like, what? I'm getting to go again? That's how fast it is. You play a card, do your thing, you rest, pick up your cards, you buy a point card, you buy a card out there, 4 actions. Boom, boom, boom. You take an action, next action, next action, next action. And it's fun and it's interesting. And at first, everyone's the same with the same 2 cards. So take some more yellow cubes, upgrade those cubes. Oh, I'll take this one. This one. You know, let's see what kind of combo I can get here. I can change a green cube into 2 red cubes. I can change 2 yellow cubes into 2 red cubes. This one lets me change 3 green cubes into 3 brown cubes. And this one, 3 red cubes into 2 green cubes and 2 yellow cubes. So if I can change 2 yellow cubes to 2 red cubes, use my upgrade card to upgrade another one to red, and then change those 3. And you say, well, that sounds complicated, but it really isn't. You have these cards, and you can have a big hand of cards, or you might have a few cards. And you play them, pick them up, play them, pick them up, get some more. I love the mechanism where you leave a cube on each card you don't take. That's something that's been in many other games like Forenzi and Small World. It's a good concept, and it works really well here. Sometimes you'll be like, I don't care what card I get, I'll take that first card. Other times you'll see when you say, I really want that card. Am I really willing to give up cubes for that? You also might think, well, is there any interaction? Well, not really, except you are watching what other people buy. If you let one person buy a bunch of these smaller caravans out there that are worth fewer points, they could end the game before you get a chance to get your big ones that are worth more points. So sometimes you will buy one that you know isn't worth as many points as you wanted, but someone else was going to buy it. Sometimes you'll buy them because they're in the silver coin or the gold coin slot, because that's an extra 1 or 3 points. By the way, those silver coins and the bowls that these come in are included with the game. So even though it has cubes, the components are really nice. I really like Century because of the flow. It's the same, it's the epitome of everything I dislike about theming the game, where you get these things and trade them in for other things and trade them in for other things and then trade those in for points. But because it's so fast and fun, I just find myself loving this game. I can't wait to see the next version of it. But even for now, this is a game that I can see myself playing time and time again. This automatically shoots up probably into my top 10 gateway games. Games that I would teach someone who's never played games before because it's so easy to jump into. This game murders Splendor. I love Splendor a lot. But this game is very similar, and it gives me more things. Some of these cards are definitely better than others, but you may have to pay cubes to get to that point. And even with the full complement of 5 players, which is normally the kiss of death in games like this, it plays so fast. I have no problem playing this one with 5. So, extremely high recommendation from me. I cannot tell you how much I like this. It is instantly going into my collection. It is one that I know I'm going to be playing a lot this year. And I would call this a Spiel des Jahres nominee. That's how good this game is. So we'll find out what happens as time goes by. But for me, I love it. Dice Tower Judgment, amazing!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Shut the door.